Welcome to the third week of our initiatic path from the inside to connect with the universe. This week, what we are going to work with is the concept of Merkaba, which is an Egyptian word related to the vehicle for light. How men, a human, can connect with this vehicle of light. This concept was born to describe a specific term related to a geometry. And this geometry is like a portal or a vehicle, a way of moving the energy that holds every matter, everything that exists. We usually relate the Merkaba with a spiritual vehicle that is surrounded the humans, but actually is the core of every source of energy in everything that exists. Every molecule, every atom, every chemical, every cell, every body, a sun, a planet, everything is contained in a Merkaba. And that's basically because the Merkaba is the design of every system that exists. So it's not just a vehicle of light or a vehicle for the spirit. It's the structure of the creation itself. But for that, to understand how to use it, how to work with it, we have to go step by step in how this geometry appears. And for that, we have to go to the very beginning of the universe, when everything was only one. In the very beginning of the creation, what we have is universe. As I said before, the universe is one turning or bending towards itself. So this unity comes back constantly to the same spot, which is itself, to the core of its own reality. So every idea, every intention, everything that could possibly exist is encoded without time, without space, in that concept of universe. How everything turns back to one. But in order for that to take action, this unity needs to divide in two. So this division, this duality, is the one that will allow us to create two different options in which this unity can experience itself in different levels. So this unity, which is the neutral, divides into the positive and the negative. This positive and negative, what we'll do is to create an energy field, a force, that creates something new, which is a third option. The positive energy and the negative energy basically are the same system that is divided but is constantly trying to go back to itself. So when that happens, when you only have positive and negative, it constantly will go back to the self, to the unity. So in order for that to transcend, for that to not to go back always to one and be a binary state of 1, 0, 1, 0 constantly, what it does is to create a third option. This third option will able for the system to keep going and keep existing, keep moving, instead of just coming to unity. So we have one that divides in two, positive and negative, and this positive and negative, by the force of unity, creates a third one in the middle that is like a core, a center, that will spin. And that spinning makes that the positive and the negative cannot touch one another and needs always to spin and move constantly, creating a constant machine of energy. So this third option is the one that compose what we call the sacred Trinity. The Trinity is basically the main aspect of the creation of the universe. The universe being only one, the self, the whole, the everything, projects itself into a trinity: positive, negative, and neutral. So these three are the ones that will able to this unity to be seen, to be expressed. So this trinity is the one that will decide everything else. And because everything was just contained in a package of information called unity, when it goes out towards the positive side, everything that was contained will start to vibrate, to resound towards the outside. It's like if you hold all the possible, all the energy of the universe contained in once, and suddenly you open it. So when you open it, it's like a wave of frequency that starts to be created and expanding in the cosmos. That expansion towards the positive is what we call vibration. So vibration is the first step towards the outside. The echo of vibration starts to create dissonance or resonance, depending on the waves, how they collapse to each other, and that creates constant waves of energy. So vibration starts to create energy, which is the other side. So we have the positive and the negative vibration and energy. And this vibration and energy, depending on the state in which they resound to one another, will manifest geometrical forms, which will create the third option, which is the matter. So matter is the middle point in between energy and vibration. Vibration generates energy, energy generates matter, and the matter transforms itself through vibration. So this constant triangle is what we call the sacred Trinity. We have set a spiritual concept into the sacred Trinity, like the Mother, the Father, and the Son, or even more for the Semitic cultures, the Holy Spirit, the Father, and the Son. So this sacred Trinity is just an interpretation of our own cultures regarding something that is cosmic. So everything that first existed in the universe, when the universe starts to expand, is vibration. So it's the first step of the outer world, that everything will resound, everything will vibrate. Vibration is one of the laws of the universe. Everything is vibrating, and everything exists because it's vibrating. And all the states of vibration in the universe creates different rhythms of vibration. And those rhythms are the ones that creates the frequencies. So we have a vibration which is all filling up the universe. These vibrations had certain rhythms according to the echoes that expands, and these echoes of rhythm will create the frequency. The frequency is the way in which we interpret time in this vibration. So actually, the space is all vibration, and time only exists because of the echoes of that vibration, what we call frequency. And that echo, that frequency, is the one that enables the energy. So energy would be the different types of movement of that vibration. This energy will be aligned according to the different types of frequencies. So the highest the frequency, it means more energy. The lowest the frequency, it means less energy. How do we see that? If everything is vibration, we will call low vibration to a wave that takes a long time to repeat itself. So if we have one heel of the frequency here, 1, and then 0 going down, and then 1 up, the time that it takes from point 1 to the other point 1, if it's long, it means that it's a low frequency of vibration. So low frequency of vibration means low energy. It means that the energy is moving very slow, so it doesn't have much potential. When the point 1, it's very short to the other point 1, so it means that it repeats very fast and it moves very fast. It means that the energy is higher. So you can move faster, so it creates much more energy. So higher energy, it's higher frequency in the pattern of vibration. So when we talk about frequency, we talk about time. When we talk about vibration, we talk about space. Both together are going to create all the different patterns of energy. And that's how we understand that in the quantum realm, all the existence of the most tiniest particles that exist are actually entanglements of resonance, like an instrument of chords that is vibrating constantly in different resonance. So different times, frequencies, and different vibrations, or different frequencies inside that vibration. So that creates a constant of vibrations that when they create a package of information, it shines of energy. So the energy appears from these packages of vibration. As higher the vibration, much more energy. As lower the vibration, less energy. So now we have these two options of the universe that are constantly creating patterns. So when we have one frequency here in a specific vibration, in a specific frequency, and we have another one here that are vibrating the same level, so we have a resonance. That's what we call resonance, because it sounds back. So that's what sound means. So they are resounding in the same level, they are exactly the same. So that's resonance. And if this one flows like this, but this one flows very different, it means that they are dissonance. So they are not in the same pattern. According to the resonance or the dissonance, we create lines, we create connections in one another. So it creates networks of vibration, which we call matrix. The matrix of vibrations are the ones that creates the shape through space and time. And that's how we create, for example, an atom, and then a molecule, and then a chemical element, by resonance. When they resound to one another, they start to create a geometrical structure, and they hold themselves into that geometrical structure that fills up the space. And that's what we call an atom, and then two atoms get together, create a molecule, and so on. So this means that the basis, the sacred trinity of the universe, of this unity, is vibration, energy, and matter. So what do we have here? That there is one point of unity that projects itself towards the outside in three options: energy, vibration, and matter. The shape that we have from that is like a tripod, and that shape is what we call a tetrahedron. Tetrahedron is a Greek word that means four faces. Tetra, four, and hedron, faces. So these four triangular faces complete a perfect system that is the basic structure of the entire universe. As tiny as you go to the entire universe, when you go deeper into every structure or anything that exists in the universe, what you will find is a tetrahedron. So all the particles, vibration, everything organize itself in this structure because it's the most relaxing structure for the universe, because everything can rely to one another. Without one of those lines or one of those nodes, it can move without any purpose and direction. But with the fourth one, it creates a perfect structure that contains energy in a locked circuit. This idea of the tetrahedron creates what we have seen in many cultures, which is the triangle with one dot in the middle, or the triangle with another triangle opposite to it inside. This is the symbol that we all know as the triangle with an eye in the center, which is the eye of God. Is actually, in 2D, we see it like a triangle with one eye or one circle, but actually is a tetrahedron. So when we see it in 3 dimensions, we see the tetrahedron in different positions. So this structure of unity projected into these 3 aspects of creation can be also polarized, because unity creates division, so diverse. So if this unity is the self, the being, when the being goes out of itself, it will create the action. Immediately, the self becomes action. The meditation transforms into activation. And that's what we call the first subject making the first action, which is I am. The being of the universe is universe as I, the one, but then projects itself into action by creating, manifesting the idea of being. So that's why the first being of the universe, I, will project into the action of to be, which is am. So I am is the first concept of this universe projecting itself towards the outside. So the I projects itself in vibration, generates energy through vibration, and manifests matter from that. And in front of it, in the other side of the triangle, what we have is the verb, the action, the am. And that verb, what it does is to also try to reach back the Trinity. So it creates another kind of Trinity. And this Trinity will be through actions, through activities. So the one related to vibration is what we call love. The one related to energy is what we call wisdom. And the one related to matter is what we call will. These are the 3 aspects of action, meaning that in the time that the unity creates the reality, this reality is going to be understood by taking action and coherence. These 3 different aspects, which is love, wisdom, and will, are the 3 actions that needs to be taken in order to find coherence. So basically, the unity with its trinity of creation is the first tetrahedron, and the action with its trinity of activities, these other 3, is the other aspect of tetrahedron. We have one negative and one positive, one that is inside and the other one that is outside. What do we have from that? We have 2 tetrahedrons that will merge to one another. These 2 tetrahedrons will merge because they are also positive and negative, and they try constantly to get closer to one another, to attract to one another. So I am, you are, he, she, is, we are, they are, you are, all of that is together. They're trying to find the subject and the action together. That's why the universe basically summarizes itself into I am. It's the two options, one creating the reality and the other one putting the reality together to come back to unity. This creates the two tetrahedrons that we call the twin flames. Why do we call it twin flames? Because the tetrahedron is the shape of fire. Fire being the first element in this creation, because when everything resounded and exploded, the first element of being created was fire, was the reaction of all this energy together, manifesting the light. The tetrahedron starts to manifest the light, moving into spirals, because when you put one tetrahedron aside the other, creating a constant pattern of tetrahedrons, what you have is a constant spiral. So, following the lines of every tetrahedron together in a line, you create the spiral of light, or the DNA. This element is called the fire element. As later, when the other elements will appear, when the other geometries will appear, will be called according to the elements that are starting to exist. Like an hexahedron being the minerals, the dodecahedron being the water, and so on. The tetrahedron here represents the fire also because the shape of the tetrahedron reminds you of a flame. It's a trine flame because it has 3 triangles. This trine flame represents vibration, energy, and matter, and on the other triangle, on the other tetrahedron, it represents love, wisdom, and will. So these trine flames together creates the twin flames. They reflect to one another, and it's something that usually people call today as someone that completes you, someone that has the inner fire of the soul, like a twin soul, like someone to relate to as the other one that completes me. But actually, it's a very romantic idea of what actually the system is, because the twin flame is actually our own system of energy. The reason why we expect for someone else to be that twin flame that we are looking for is because usually, because of we are all part of a network, other people around the world has some codes to ignite that fire on us. So it's not that the other people complete us, it's that the other people or some persons around the planet has the tools or the vibration, the resonance to set fire on our own tiny spark. So sometimes that spark is very low, in a low frequency, so we need a high frequency from someone else to tune us up and rise up the fire. That's why we relate others with that twin flame that makes us fall in love or feel love as a partner, but actually is because the other person is igniting that fire that we have within, which is this potential of connecting these two tetrahedrons together. So the twin flame is actually what we call the vehicle of the I am. It's a vehicle of the divine that makes everything possible. All the potentialities are encoded into this Merkaba. These two tetrahedrons together, when they spin, they create a toroid. They create a structure that manifests a magnetical field that holds everything that is around towards the center. So when we are talking about a Merkaba, we can understand then that this function can be also represented by molecules of carbon, molecules of water, molecules of any other chemical, silica or whatever, that creates our reality. So there are different compositions that together they create a new being, they create a new reality. So from the tiniest realm in the atomic realm towards the highest one in a galaxy, what we will see is a Merkaba pattern connecting everything around and holding a center, a core, which for the galaxy is a black hole in the center, and for us is the tiniest part of our heart. It's like a black hole or a point of void where all the forces that has been created goes towards it, and because they neutralize in that center, in that third aspect between the positive and the negative, so it neutralizes all the forces and we don't see any light, we just see a deep void of peace and balance. This is how basically the Merkaba is formed in the reality. How vibration manifests the energy, and the energy, the matter, in order to create a structure, a pattern that can hold the energy of the one, of the unity. And this Trinity is the one creating all the different options of life that then eventually will act with the will act with the wisdom, and will act with love. So what are these three? Because the universe expresses Trinity in a way that is much more scientific, let's say, because it manifests through measurable aspects like vibration, energy, and matter. But why those who take action has its Trinity in three philosophical aspects? Well, basically because love is a translation of the vibration in our bodies. Love is a chemical reaction of vibration that connects us all and maintains us all in the same frequency. So love is not different from vibration. We don't have only one type of love. We have all the different types of love according to different frequencies. There are also low frequencies of love that we call hate, fear, or we have high frequencies of love which we call joy, ecstasy. So these different types of love that can be many, has many colors, can exist too, are the different types of links of energy and bounds of energy that connects us all to be one. So usually when we say, when we want to activate the Merkaba and to activate our vehicle of light, what we say is that love should be unconditional. It shouldn't be just any love, it should be unconditional. And what it means to be unconditional, it doesn't mean to love someone, it means actually to set the vibration of the other person free. Because unconditional means that you don't have any link with that person. It means that you are not conditioning that person or that being with your own type of frequency of love. So there is no condition. That's what it means in the word. So if there's no condition, it means that it's freedom. So unconditional love is acceptance of the process of any being and acceptance of any existence. We cannot have unconditional love if we are in duality, like believing there is an evil and that there are some people that are the good ones. That's not unconditional love. There is no unconditional love also when we try to protect someone because we are afraid of something happening to them. We are not unconditionally loving when we love so much other persons that we don't allow them to move on. So there is no unconditional love when we have an attachment to someone or to something. So basically what it means is that we have to, in order to activate really this machine, this pattern of energy that creates us, that connects us with the inner void and connects us with the entire universe, is to practice unconditional love, which means to understand that low frequency or high frequency can be accepted as equal, and that I have to find the best balance in between all of them, not going to extremes. If I go to an extreme, it's the same of doing nothing. So I need the balance between all of them, and to acknowledge all of them and accept all of them in order to fulfill what the frequency of love means. Then we have wisdom. And wisdom is not about knowledge. It's not about the accumulation of data through experience. Wisdom is basically to allow yourself to be what it is supposed to be in the right time and the right place. So wisdom is basically taking action that sometimes is inaction. It means that you are there to be a reflection and an example for everyone that is around. And you don't have to do good in order to have wisdom. You just have to be completely and fully yourself. So there is no good or bad in wisdom. There is only to be. And will basically represents the intention of things. It doesn't mean that you have to work hard or to do stuff in order to accomplish your goals. That's the will that we have learned in the Industrial Revolution, but it's not the one that actually the universe is claiming for. The will that we are talking about here is about the intention. And intention means to set yourself in the right tension. Why? Because if you're playing a guitar, for example, you need to calibrate the chords in order to feel the song, the note. And for that, the chords needs to be in tension. So what is to set an intention? Is to pull the strings in yourself so they are aligned. They are not entangled. So it means that you have to put each one of the parts of yourself very aligned from the crown chakra to the feet chakra, all along. And how do you do that? By taking the right actions. What is the right action? To act according to the situation with the wisdom and love. What I feel in my love, what I think in my wisdom, I act according to my will. So my will be expressed in the tension created by my heart with love and my brain with the mind wisdom. This is the one that will create the third one, which is the throat, which is the expression of the music, the word, the creator itself, by the verb. So when we are talking about activating the Merkaba, we are talking about creating the light vehicle that allows us to connect with the core of the universe, with the core of the creation itself, with the core of the I am. And in order to activate this, there are many steps and many things to do. It's not just simply think about it or design it around or do an energy work. When you do an energy work and think about it, then you have to hold it with your actions, with your coherence, every day. Otherwise, it's like a rotten machine. It's like something that can get old and misused. That's why we need to work the Merkaba with coherence. And the question would be, what do we achieve by activating the Merkaba? Well, basically, what you do is to activate the potential of all the archangels, which means all the frequencies, all the potentialities of creation of the universe within you. So you become an alchemist. You become a creator of your own reality. To have the Merkaba activated in you means that when you relate to yourself, to the I, who you really are, the higher self, that's what we call the higher self, the I. Then the lower self is Matthias, for example, me, is a personality, is a design that is inside the system. But my higher self, which is only I, me, that being, I can only achieve that being by saying I. And I can only be coherent by saying am. So when I say, for example, I wish I could have this, the universe interprets through the potential of Merkaba that you actually are wishing. So everything that projects around you is going to be according to the verb wish, which means that it will always be a dream for you. You will never achieve that because it will always be a dream, and you will create constant realities of wishing something new because the potential was set with the verb wish. But if I say I am this, I am that, I am what is needed, the Merkaba activates the potential of making it right now for you, because you are setting the intention that you are the creator of that. That is not something that someone needs to give you from the outside. It's coming from the outside, but you are becoming it. And that's why by gravity, the Merkaba starts to pull the realities towards you, because you acknowledge that I am. By doing that, when you say I, you are projecting this reality in your vibration, in your energy, and your matter. You are projecting the manifestation of that idea here. So basically by saying I am this with your verb, you are changing the frequency of your vibration towards that reality. By moving yourself and changing the intention of yourself, what you do is to change the energy. Change the energy of what what you are setting for yourself in your life. Like for example, if I am too worried about getting something, the only energy that I'm gonna create in my life is being worried. So it doesn't matter how good it's going to be what it's coming to me, I will be always worried. But I can change that by laughing, by having fun, by thinking that everything is a play. So I can change the intention in which I will take the action. And the action will come accordingly to that intention. And then the matter. You change the matter by the action, by acting differently as you would do it in the first place. Like take a different action every day. Learn something new, for example. Try to learn something different that you have never thought about. So with these tiny actions, you start to modify also the matter. Usually the greatest alchemists in the past, if you read about them or you listen about them, they knew many things. They knew about architecture, they knew about music, they knew about mathematics, they knew about art, about magic, about philosophy, religion, everything, metaphysics, physics. Why the people that were alchemists or the people that were genius knew a little bit of everything? It's not because they were so clever that they were able to understand everything. It was because they understood that in order to become the everything, they need to learn a little bit about everything in order to open all the potentialities of the Merkaba, of their own self. So they needed to prove themselves that they could be able to learn about different topics that maybe they had no idea before. The action by coherence to activate the Merkaba, as I said, is to accept. The word for love is to accept every reality that is outside, by knowing that if I tune myself with love, I will only be able to see the love coming back. If I am what I'm supposed to be at every second, I will only receive people and realities that are also in their own center, not looking for something. So they will also be in their own center. And by will, remember, you take the right intention, you take the right action in order to move the energy in your life. So the Merkaba is basically not just a vehicle of light, it's a construction of your own self. It's a construction that you do every day in order to prepare your being to be able to become an alchemist, someone that can create or transform this matter, this reality, into a light being, into a manifestor, into a divinity. Following this idea of the chakras, the Merkaba is related to the root chakra. And the root chakra in our bodies usually is related to something dense, to something physical, to sexuality or something deep that rooted us to this world. But actually, the genitals is the center of the glands that connects you with the spirit. We tend to believe that the one that connects you with the spirit is the pituitary gland or hypophysis gland in the middle of the brain, because it's the one that is connected to the crown chakra. But actually, it's not. The one that connects you with the potential of the spirit, with the spirituality itself, is the root chakra, the one that is in the genitals. So we have been disconnected for thousands of years from our genitals, saying that they are part of the sin, that they are part of a dirty reality, that we should not show that part, we should not talk about that part, like it's the sinner's part and it's just for reproduction. But actually, what they did with that is to disconnect us from the power of the spirit, the potential of the spirit to enlighten the crown chakra up rises from the root chakra. So the Merkaba is basically the machine that activates the root chakra, and it ignites the fire of the twin flames. So this is related to sexuality. Sexuality, sex basically means segregation or separation. Sexus means to separate two things. So these sections of the being, which is the one I and the other one am, the two options of the complete being, needs to be together in the root chakra in order to ignite the fire, the positive and the negative. Igniting the Merkaba creates the spiral of light that in the Indian culture they call Kundalini. So the spiral of light, the Kundalini, the snake that crawls in the tree of life, is being born in the root chakra when the Merkaba is activated. So we have different ways in which we can activate that, by meditation, by breathing, by fever, and by sex. So we have at least four different ways in which we can ignite that inner fire that transforms our being, that activates the Merkaba. Of course that some of them, the ones that I mentioned, are not conscious. Most of them are unconscious. So, for example, fever activates the Merkaba every time that we have fever, that ignites the fire in our body, but it's unaware of this. So it's working from the subconscious. So it's activating things without any awareness of it. But the cells evolve. Every time that we have fever, something changes in the composition of our cells, so they evolve, transform themselves. So it's a tiny doses of the transformation from Merkaba. From sexuality, you can be aware or unaware of this, but the fire of the orgasm is something that also activates the Merkaba and connects you with the potentiality of the spirit. Because remember, the spirit is not something outside the body, it's the breathing of the spirit, it's the breathing of the body. So the regeneration of the breathing through orgasms is also a way in which the Merkaba is activated to make you a creator of your own life. And this is why the ancestors, the ancient civilizations, gave so much power to sexuality. They tried to teach sexuality in a proper way, not to connect with the divine just outside, but to be able to become creators and divine within. So that's what we call the sacred sexuality. And the meditation, of course, would be to try to mimic, position the tetrahedron and activating that according to the understanding of your own life. And this is related to the task that I will give you for this week. Every day in this week, I invite you to sit in the meditation position, crossing your legs. By crossing your legs, you will figure that you will create a triangle in your lower body. So you cross your legs like sitting in the Indian position, in a meditation position, and you will find a triangle that goes from your coccyx to your knees. So there you have the first triangle, and then you create the other triangles by using the edges towards your head. The edges towards your head would be following the spine to your neck, following the first edge through the back, and then your arms to your knees. When you do that, try to find the head in the middle, not on the back, but find the middle point of the tetrahedron, and you will see that your own body can create a tetrahedron. Your head being the eye, being the upper part of unity, and then going down towards the ground, you have the polarity of it, which is the diversity or the the action. So you have here in your own body, in your physical body, the position of the first tetrahedron. And then from below, you expand towards this high of your chest, and you have the other trinity, one towards your heart and the other ones on your back like the wings. So picture from your heart a ray of light that goes in front, and from your back two wings like an angel. Having that in mind, with your root grounded in the floor, you will have the Merkaba in your physical reality and your ethereal reality. So by breathing, taking deep breath constantly, and every time faster, and you follow the speed of breathing that you could possibly that you could hold. By doing that, you start to activate the machine. You start to activate the entire Merkaba. So, following this position, you start to picture the 6 directions of your Merkaba. 3 under, 3 in the opposite above, one on the top of your head, one under in the ground. By that, you start to activate the pattern, the structure. So I invite you to take 5 minutes every day to start activating this machine that goes straight to your center, to your black hole in the void in the middle, in between the heart and plexus. So in that tiny little place, you start to connect with the divine. It's activating your fire. You will start to sweat, you will start to feel uncomfortable too, because the body needs to relocate the energy inside the body. So try to feel for 5 minutes this position and taking deep breaths once and again in a loop until you breathe out and relax for a moment. So that would be an exercise to activate the idea of what the Merkaba is. And for the rest, I would recommend for you to take this next 6 days for the 6 attributes of the Merkaba. So we can take the first 3 days for your vibration, the other one energy, and the last one matter, and then the other 3 days for love, wisdom, and will. So I invite you to take 5 minutes of every day, and the first day you think about how do you vibrate, and try to, through your breathing, rise up your vibration. The next day, 5 minutes, think about the energy. If you are low in energy, high in energy, so rise up your energy or balance your energy as you breathe. The next day, matter. Try to look for the right position, massage your body, take a moment to connect with what information is in your body, what is the muscle that hurts the most. Try to pay attention to that position during 5 minutes, and then give a massage or stretch the parts that you have felt in your body that needs to be relocated. The next day, think about the love. Take 5 minutes to get this position and think about what you aim in love, what do you want for love, the links that you have, and try to locate some of those biggest love that you have, and with these breathings, take them into unconditional, releasing the tensions between those boundaries, between those bounds. The 5th day, you will go to wisdom. Try to think about what are you for others? What is your reflection to others? What do you reflect to other people? And take 5 minutes to meditate on one of those reflections. And the last day, the 6th day, I invite you to think about your will. What are your intentions? And do you take action in those intentions? So try to think for 5 minutes in what is your will for that week, and take action and do it. This 5 minutes every day to complete the whole system of the Merkaba can be a beginning, a start for what this machine of light is. Remember, the energy of the root chakra is the potential of the light being. So activating the twin flames of the Merkaba is actually to reactivate the machine that sets fire to the potential that can transform you in the creator of your own reality.